I mean, we'll find out if he has won it, because he did look, to my eye, a bit dubious. Just a little bit dubious. I think he's conned the referee there. I'm going to just say it as it is. I think my player's just conned the referee, but what are you going to do? Take the wins where you can. How's it going, everyone? My name is Stu. Welcome to the channel and welcome to my Football Manager 2024 save with Deportivo La Coruña. Thank you for joining me in today's video, which is part number 36 of the save, where we're going to be trying to scrape through to the playoffs in the Champions League by playing a team called ASTON. But before that, we're going to be playing Athletic Bilbao in La Liga. And if you're excited to see how we get on in both of those games, don't forget to leave a big like on the video for me. And don't forget to subscribe as well. It's completely free to do so. You'll make me a happy chap. What's not to love? If you're jumping on the save at this point as well, look above. Don't worry. There's a playlist there that'll take you through to everything that you need to know. So, since you were last with me, the wobble continued. It's rectified now a little bit, but the wobble really continued. So we played Bayern and... In fact, no, it didn't continue. I'm lying completely. The wobble was on camera. I got very stroppy, I remember now. So we actually did beat Girona in the next game. And I think the biggest thing there was we focused a lot more on defensive stuff in training, which maybe I've been a little bit lacking in, but we focused a lot more on that kind of gap in between those two games, on defensive stuff, on pressing, and with as little training time as we had, and it did seem to work, and Makoko got a couple of goals as well. Then we did do a couple of pre-season friendlies as well, just to kind of get us back into the move, because there was a big gap between the 11th and the 1st, and then since we've been back, everything's looked, I'm not going to say fine, it's looked better. Beat Levante back, that wasn't overly convincing, but we weren't fully fit, we were still getting our fitness back up from the break. Lost in the Supercoppa, which is fine, I'm not bothered about that at all, to be honest with you. It doesn't bother me. We then managed to beat Atletico Madrid with a quick fire double from Hwajek. They did score late on through Dominic Solanke, who plays for Atletico Madrid. That's a random one. And then we also did manage to go ahead and beat Ebro in the Copa del Rey, which is pretty much our trophy at this point. And we did beat Tottenham in the Champions League, which leaves the Champions League group stage looking like this. We are currently a win away, goal difference assumed, and head-to-head assumed as well. I'm not 100% sure exactly how it works in this one, from going through to the playoffs, which of course we managed to, I'm pretty sure we managed to avoid last season. No, we had to go through the playoffs, and we got through the playoffs last season. So we need to do that now. Astana, the team we're playing, who are a Kazakhstan team, 3-star Kazakhstan team. They are currently 35th. They're currently on 1 point. They've got no hope of getting through. They're not really playing for anything. The pressure is on us. The pressure is not on them. So we do have to bear that in mind. Now, in terms of the actual La Liga as well, our slight upturn in fortunes has left things looking like this. We've got a game in hand on the top two. We're currently on 41. They're on 52 and 53 respectively. Barcelona currently leading things. Of course, last season and the season before, it was Real Madrid. To be honest, it has been all through the same. So Barcelona are currently looking like they might be getting there. So if we win that, we go within like around 8 points of Real Madrid. We start to close the gap a bit. This is not going to be the season we win La Liga, but I think we need to kind of close this gap between third and the top two, because it is still quite big. Now, there's been transfer news. I've solved I may have, it's early days, but I think I've solved goalkeeper. I went and signed Marco Carnesecchi. £21 million is a lot of money. It is a lot of money, but we did sign him for £21 million. He has only played one game for us so far in the league. He hasn't actually kept a clean sheet yet, I don't think. But it's fine. I'm actually not that bothered about that at the moment. He's still looking good. In fact, technically speaking, I think he has done. Because on this schedule, where is it? It was after extra time. He actually technically kept a clean sheet in this one after 90 minutes because the goal came in after extra time. So technically speaking, that's a bit of a lie. But yeah, we have got Carnesecchi, and now we afforded that through sales. In particular, the sale of Nicolo Casale for £18 million. I can't believe we got that much for him, which is great. And then we spent about 7 or 8 million on him up front. The rest of it's on instalments. I do need to be careful on instalments because I'm aware I'm kind of using that quite a bit. But we've brought him in, and I think he's going to be a sensational keeper. He's a 4.5-star keeper in our squad. Look at the difference between him and De Gea. It's ridiculous. So I think he's going to be a bit of a superstar. Likes big matches. He's a leading player for La Liga sides. He's consistent. And the only thing that he's not good at is his weak foot. He's not very good in training in terms of his short distribution. And he's a peripheral figure in the squad because he's just joined. He's also got a minor injury. So you won't be seeing him in the first game today, which is a bit of a bummer. We also have moved on Danny Martin as a result because we've got a backup goalkeeper. His name's David De Gea. But we also lost youngster Saul. Saul has gone to Chelsea for his release clause of 5 million. Would not entertain any contract talks with us. And he's gone there. He's not going to be playing for them. He's in there under 21s. But I'm interested to see. In fact, let's make sure that he's on our shortlist. Just so we keep an eye on him. Because I'll be interested to see how he develops as one of our homegrown players. And maybe at some point we bring him back. Who knows? But he went for 5 million. Just to confirm, Danny Martin, he left for £3.5 million. Remember, we signed him for 3. Yet another profit that we've made on a player that's sold. The Casale deal, another one we made a profit on. We signed him for 9 million. We doubled it. I'm getting good at this selling malarkey. It's really good. Anyway, enough of that nonsense. Through to the game against Athletic Bilbao. We have changed things up. It was going to be the following game after the Champions League at Espanyol. We're going to end with the Champions League game today. Because there's a bit more jeopardy in that one. I can't believe we actually beat Spurs, to be honest with you. But beat them we did. And this is the 11 that we're going to be taking with us to the game against Athletic Bilbao. And we're going to be hoping that we can get 3 points from it. So, the starting 11 is De Gea in goal, Martinez, Okoli, Vandenberg and Ilic in defence, Bajcetic, Stoichers and Veloso in the midfield with Firmino, Boedo and Moukoko up front. We're obviously going to be hoping that Moukoko still kind of is remembering to score goals. Now, there's a notable absence. It's Furic. He's got a virus or an illness or something, so we just can't risk it at the moment. We sent him home. And it's, of course, come at the worst time. But actually, a couple of the results that you saw, in particular the Spurs one, came without him in the team. So, I mean, that is just looking so much better than it did in the last video. It came without him in the team. So, actually, we have shown that we can do it. Firmino is playing in that position today. I was toying with Dolberg. That would be Dolberg's position. It would also be Jota's position. But we are still trying to move Jota on. There is interest in him. And Dolberg just isn't fit. I mean, and that's on me. I need to play him a little bit more to get the fitness there. But it is what it is. Bajcetic has started to really come into the team as well. He started to really fill in that midfield spot. I can't remember whether he's here next season. If he's not, we might try and sign him. Because he has been solid. The inconsistency at striker is driving me so mad that I'm so glad that we got Karnasecki in now. Because it means I might look at potentially focusing on striker as the signing next season, which I think I already did talk about. The focus was going to be striker and goalkeeper. Well, goalkeeper's already done, so we don't need to worry about that. It's a massively deflected shot, by the way, and Firmino's gone and scored. Danny Boedo with the assist, our youngster who, again, because of injuries, because of players out of form, because of falling out with Jota, and because he's gone up to 2.5 star, getting a lot more game time. Technically, he takes the corner there, but he technically gets it. There's 2 deflections in there. Bilbao can feel really unlucky about that. But I'm really happy to see Danny Boedo technically get an assist there. And it is 1-0 to us. We have been on top so far in the game. Just want to keep us maintaining that throughout. Bilbao having a terrible season, currently in 14th. They will be looking to kind of rectify that and make things kind of go in their direction a little bit more. It's obviously not happening for them right at this moment. It's also not happening for Moukoko. Another poor game from him. Particularly, it happens on camera. I have noticed he is a bit camera shy, and then he decides to start playing again off camera, which I'm not really a massive fan of. So we definitely do need a new striker next season. I'm going to apologise now as well if there's any cuts in the video. I've got a bit of a cough at the moment. The weather in the UK has been ridiculous. By the time that this is out, it's probably going to settle down a little bit. It's settled down now a little bit, but the hot weather has really affected my throat. I don't deal well with the hot weather, and it really has affected like my throat, my sleep pattern. Everything's been kind of ruined by it. Even though the hot weather is kind of not dissipated completely, but it's eased off a little bit, my throat is still suffering a little bit from everything. And we managed to defend that just about. Bilbao on paper are still, I'm not going to say a better team, but a competitive team compared to us. So we do need to be careful because they are definitely a threat. Right. Boedo now with the ball. He's not the quickest Boedo, so he's gonna. He had a lot to do there. I would have liked him just to hoof it up the pitch. I'd have taken that definitely. Right, Makoko is coming off. Another poor performance in front of the camera. Plojek is coming on. I am tempted to bring Dolberg on, but actually the wingers are doing okay at the moment. Stoikers is in a bit of a weird period where he is struggling at the moment. So do you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to put Firmine into the Mazzala role, which I have done a little bit recently. And we're going to give Dolberg the chance to come onto the pitch and get some minutes. That feels like the thing to do. I would bring Jota on. Two things with that. Number one, he's not played properly in a while, so he's not going to be fully fit. Number two, he's not got the motivation because we've fallen out. And number three, the last thing I want to do when I'm trying to move him on, when we've not got long left in the transfer window, is for him to get injured again. Because remember, he was injured just after we were trying to sell him, which was a little bit frustrating. So we'll see what we can do to get him moved on. I mean, I think Veloso was fouled there, personally, the way that animation went. Williams is through. Vandenberg. What a defensive header that was. Seriously, that was a good bit of defensive kind of aerial play. He got in just ahead of Iñaki Williams and just managed to get it down. He's coming out of defence here. Goes out wide to Ilic, who has picked things up. He's not been perfect, but he has picked things up recently. Oh, that final ball. Boedo does a lovely little interception there. This is what we weren't seeing in that kind of period just before Christmas that I complained about. Hlajek makes it 2. That is just something that Makoko doesn't do often enough. This kind of play where we get the ball and actually attack, we didn't see a lot of that in the last episode. We didn't see a lot of it. Well, I didn't see a lot of it playing the in-between bits between that episode and the one before it, which is why I was getting a bit panicky. But we're just getting the flow of it a little bit better now. Again, that break, I think, did us the world of good. I would have actually liked to continue playing because in that Girona game just before that break, we started to really look sharp again. In that game, it was head and shoulders above what we'd done before. Right, Ilic is going to come off for Miranda, who has dropped to 2.5 stars, so a bit of a concern for him, but I'm sure he'll be fine. I am going to bring Jota on. It's a bit of a risk, again, because we are looking to move him on, but we'll bring him on. And then I'm going to leave my final trick just for the time being. It's going to be either Nyanzu or Herculano. I was thinking Navarro as well, but we're not going to bring Navarro on for today. We're going to give him a bit of a break. I'm going to bring either Curly or Vandenberg off for one of the other two defenders. I'm actually going to do it for... I really want to do it for Nyanzu, but it should be Herculano. He is the wonder kid. I'm going to take off Vandenberg because Vandenberg has been very good for us today. He deserves a little break, and it's more minutes for Herculano. I mean, the more we can get Herculano fit, the more it will benefit us because he will be an asset to the team. Right, it's only a 2-goal lead, but a 2-goal lead is definitely something I will take when there's not that much time left on the clock. We actually start highlighting the 92nd minute. It's 5 minutes of added time. We're in the 92nd minute. We start the highlight with a goal kick. And here we go. Dolberg cutting inside here. A little bit clumsily, but does get it to Firmine. Firmine with a poor pass. He was looking for Jota and just did not get it well. And now we have given Bilbao a chance to counter-attack. There's not a lot of time left for them, but there's enough for them to make it nervous for us, which I would very much not appreciate. Right, they try and get it in the middle. They do, actually. I thought the defender there would have done a good job. What an attempt that was. We just about get away with it. Backs against the wall defending there, but we do get away with it, and that is full time. And it's a clean sheet for David De Gea as well. Again, he was really struggling, which is the whole reason why we brought another goalkeeper in. As it happens as well, David De Gea is retiring at the end of the season, so bringing Karnasecki in, I don't know whether that affected it, but it definitely ended up being a good decision. Very much ended up being a good decision. I don't think any of our players ended up getting man of the match. There we go. He's actually, funnily enough, accepted his contract as a under-19s goalkeeping coach. Right. Next game. The big one. Astana, who are playing in a league I can't look at, obviously, because I've not got it loaded up. But they're considered a major club, and that's not in alphabetical order. So they are considered a major club. I don't think there's anything I can see on here. I mean, this should be a given. But we've all played Football Manager. I mean, the last game of the last episode, I didn't really mention it at the time. We've all played Football Manager. We've all been FM'd. I don't want that to happen, but it very much could. Right, let's get those 3 days out of the way. Let's get to that game, and let's try and get ourselves through to the playoffs of the Champions League. Wish me luck. Don't know what I'm saying, wishing me luck. You're going to watch me do it. Wish me luck in the 3 days that nothing dramatic goes wrong. I've probably just jinxed it now, haven't I? Oh, gosh. Okay, we are back for what should be a pretty straightforward game against Astana of Kazakhstan. But we've all played Football Manager. Again, the last episode I got pretty frustrated with the game. So anything can happen. That cough is really trying to come out. Anything can happen. But we're going to go for it. We're going to treat it seriously as well. So yeah, let's just see what happens. I'm going to make one change to the starting 11 actually. Nyanzu can come out. He's dropped down a bit of sharpness. We'll make sure he gets some football in this game if it goes well. But we'll get Herculano in because he's got a bit more sharpness. Right, so your 11 for the game against Astana. I keep getting the name completely wrong. Your 11 for the game against Astana is, for the first time on camera, Karnasecchi in goal, Martinez, Herculano, Vandenberg and Illich in defence, Gomez, Stoichers and Veloso in the midfield, with Fermin and Boedo supporting Klajek up front. Yes, Klajek is starting because, well, I mean, what's the point of use for Makoko anyway? I was tempted to make more changes. Trilly wants more game time, but I'm going to go a little bit more serious and just make sure we get over the line. Who's the captain for this game? That is a fair question. It's going to be Sepp Vandenberg, which I think is probably the right person at the moment. He is just a bit of a solid player. He's not got the best leadership. Illich actually has got higher leadership, but he's not been here very long, so I don't really want to give it to him yet. But he will probably be one of our captains at some point. Anyway, that's me just absolutely blabbering along. Let's get to the game. Let's get, hopefully, a playoff place into the next round of the Champions League like we did last season. Because at least then we're kind of on target to where we were last year. Again, we were in the playoffs last year, but we were higher up the table. We confirmed it a bit earlier. We just need to get through. I don't think any of these players exist, by the way. I had a quick look at them when I was doing player instructions, and none of them had stats. Attributes, rather. So, I'm pretty sure they don't exist. Neither do most of their fans, which is a bit of a shame. I'm sure they do in real life. I don't know whether these are our fans or their fans. I'm assuming they're their fans. I don't know where our fans are, but it's not looking like it's a well-populated game. Let's put it like that. Right, let's move the table down to here. This is the area we're looking at. A win gets us through. And we are playing in our blue kit today. A win gets us through, I'm pretty sure. A heavy win would be even better. I mean, I don't know what to expect from this game. It feels like, although they've got a 3-star reputation, it feels like these players are not very good. And as a result, does that mean it's basically going to be like a pre-season friendly? I can't imagine it will feel like that. Something in the game will probably stop that from being the way that it works. But, I mean, if I just pick a random player here, you can see everything is just not real. I don't even know if that player's real. Maybe he is, but his attributes are not. Right, Herculano on the ball now. When we've started him before, he has been a bit of a letdown, but hopefully that doesn't happen here. Karnasecchi now gets to Herculano. The one area that Karnasecchi is not very good at is actually his distribution. His rolling out, like his throwing, isn't too bad. And we tend to go with that anyway. So it's not something that's very good. It's not something De Gea was particularly good at. None of our goalkeepers really have had decent distribution. Funnily enough, Slanina, who we had in season 2, when we got promoted to La Liga, was available and we could have afforded him. But I saw Karnasecchi, Daniel Boedo's just scored, excellent. I just saw Karnasecchi available. It was between him and Bayindir, the Turkish, I'll probably butcher his name, but the Turkish goalkeeper who was at Man United as a backup goalkeeper last season. I think he's still there now. And the only thing that kind of swung it for me was the mental attributes. The mental attributes of Karnasecchi were much higher overall. Bayindir was taller and just was a better goalkeeper, but only by like 1 or 2 attributes. Karnasecchi was comparable, but then blitzed him in mental. And he's a tiny bit younger as well. So it just, I think money-wise, they'd cost the same. Maybe Karnasecchi was a touch more expensive. It just was the right thing to do. And it coincided, obviously, with the Casale deal, as well as Danny Martin leaving as well. Right, Stoichers, if he can get a goal, it'd be great, because Stoichers has been poor recently. I'd really like to see him get a goal and get back into the swing of things. It's still only 1-0, but we only really need to win the game. But if we can kind of lay down a little bit of a marker, I think it would be a good thing. Right, table-wise at the moment, we're actually up to 21st, which is fantastic. Marseille are making moves, Chelsea are making moves, Bayer Leverkusen are making moves, Monaco are making moves, Dortmund, Sporting, Benfica, Ajax, they're all having a bit of a poor time of it. So We are benefiting from the misfortune of others. Schadenfreude is live and in effect here. Right, Firmine, going to Illich. Bit of a... I mean, against a better opposition, that wouldn't have worked as a pass there, but we get away with it. Right, Vandenberg now. Going to try and turn his man. He does. Effectively turning into a right back here. He's just going for it. He's just going for it. He's captain today, and he just thought, I'm just going to go for a goal. Why the devil not? Ends up winning a throw-in from a shot of all things. We never see it, though, and it is half-time. 1-0's fine, and I'm going to say I'm happy with the amount of shots on target. I'd like a goal to go with it. Oh, another goal, because we've already scored. I'm going to say to you, you weren't bad, but you can get better. I mean, that's the word of the day. You weren't bad, but you can get better. I'm going to put us on attacking. I just worry that if we step off, we'll just let something silly happen. And I'm just not about that. We won't make any silly changes either. We're going to stick with it as it is. We're going to demand more. Let's just push ourselves a little bit more, just in case any of the other teams who are playing just get a really good result and they just score enough goals that it batters us down. Right, Stoichkos heads it down. Herculano just shanks it. Great opportunity there. And Stoichkos did really well. But Herculano is not on a good rating, which is very disappointing. But not a very good shot from him at all. Interception there from Veloso. Holojek flicks it onto nobody, but then they head it out and we win it. Boedo now, who did score the only goal of this game so far. Over to Illich's left side partner. Over to Boedo. Boedo floating it in, looking for the header. Holojek, and Holojek is there. And Boedo gets an assist. Holojek gets a goal. It's 2-0. I'm a bit happier. Well, I was happy anyway, but I'm now a bit more comfortable because this is not a team I think who can... I'm touching the table, which is made of wood. When I say this, I don't think this is a side that are capable of getting a couple of goals against us. I certainly hope they're not, because that's the only way they're getting back into this game. Right, substitution o'clock. Herculano's had a poor one. Neonzu is going to come on for him. We are going to take Veloso off for Navarro, get him some minutes. And Da Costa is back from his injury as well. Stoichkos is having a good game, but we'll bring him on. I think Da Costa is probably going to get moved on. Not now. It will be in the summer, and we'll just bring someone in over the top of him, because he's not really done it for me as the Mazzala. It was a bit of an experiment, to be fair, but he didn't really do a lot for me as a playmaker either. I thought Hlajek had gone and got it there. He just hasn't done a lot for me. He has moments of brilliance, and that is it. I need more than moments from him if we're going to improve. Whipped in here. Nothing really going with the corner. Nianzu does actually manage to chase it out and get it, but then the highlight does end. This looks like it is going to cement us into the area where we're not going to need to worry about anything, and we are going to qualify through. Firmine is going to come off here. I am going to take him off for... I don't really know who I want to bring on and get some minutes in. I might do it for Jota, and we'll just give Jota a few minutes. Again, although I'm committed to getting rid of him if an offer comes in for him. Maybe a few minutes, maybe if he gets a goal or two, it will convince someone to put the money down for him. Because at the moment, that has been a bit of a struggle. Right, Boedo, who's had another really good game here. Admittedly, look at the opposition. Jota's actually gone and won a penalty. I mean, we'll find out if he has won it. Because he did look, to my eye, a bit dubious. Just a little bit dubious. I think he's conned the referee there. I'm going to just say it as it is. I think my player's just conned the referee, but... what are you going to do? Take the wins where you can. But he scored it! So maybe that helps getting him a transfer, as daft as that sounds. Him just burying that might just help. And if it does, brilliant, because then we get more funds. Because at the moment we're in a weird period. We've actually got a lot of money to spend. We've got about 20 million. Is it 20 million or is it less than that? I think it is around 20 million. I can't spend it because I've got a minus wage budget. But the board won't let me put any more money into the wage budget because they think we're spending enough already. So they don't want us to have the option to spend any more. So we've currently got like a 20 million wage budget that we cannot adjust in any way. And we've got minus 7,000 in the wages, which means I can't even look at loaning anyone. I can't even look at any pre-contracts. It's nuts that the board have decided to do that. They won't renegotiate at all with it either, which is really frustrating. Jota is on one in these last few minutes, by the way. He absolutely is. Have I made all 5 changes? 3, 4. Have I? Have I missed a change? I've missed a change. I've got one more change I can make. I completely missed that. Who do I want to bring on last minute? I mean, Chile. Bring Chile on. Somebody knowing about playing Chile. Let's bring him on. I think 4-0 will do. I'm quite content with that. We've gone from a goal difference of 0 to +4. So we've ended up scraping through. I mean, it would be interesting to see what would have happened if we hadn't have won the Spurs game. I'm going to have a look at that. So if we had not have won that Spurs game, I think we'd be out, because we'd have just ended up on, we'd have just been on 7 points, wouldn't we? Because we'd have 3 points less if we'd drawn. We'd be on 8 points, so if we lost, sorry, but if we'd drawn, we'd be on 8 points. We needed to win this game and we needed to win that game. We've pulled it out of the bag somehow at the end. We have pulled it out of the bag somehow. We get a little bit of money as well. I mean, maybe the board will let me do some transfer stuff now. No, this is what I mean. I've got £21 million spent. I can't spend it. Nuts. Absolutely nuts. If I get judged on that, I'll be really, really cross. But, I mean, they can try and judge me. Look at what I've done for the club. But Wado had a really good game again. He started to really get those games in. I'm absolutely fine with the fact that they're against lower kind of oppositions at the moment because that's going to continue to happen. But that was a very, very good and successful episode, I think. I'm really happy with it. So, just to reiterate, 2-0 against Bilbao, excellent. 4-0 against Astana, and of course that was the game where we managed to beat Spurs there. So, transfer window ends in 2 days. We've got to try and get Jota out the door. Because if Jota goes out the door, all of a sudden, we've got a bit of wages to play with. Not a lot, but we might be able, that might free us up to adjust it properly. We might just need to go into the plus figure to be able to do it. And then we can have a look. But we don't have a lot of time to do that. So, I think we do need to come back for the second leg of the playoff. And then we'll tie that in with another game around there. Whether it's La Liga, whether it's Copa del Rey, who knows. But we'll do something along those lines. Again, just to quickly show you the table. That's how it's looking. We're looking good. Furich has got the Player of the Match awards. He's starting to pick things up a little bit before his unfortunate illness. And that is how everything is looking. So it's all looking pretty good, to be honest with you. Really happy with how things are going after the wobble we had towards the end of the halfway point of the season. And hopefully we can continue on because we're in a really strong position. We are definitely locked into this European pack. It's just, can we push these top two a bit closer than we have done? Just to reiterate how it's looked last season, we were very, very close last season. We were almost in a title fight. The season before, we were outclassed by both of them. Last season, the gap was negligible, really. It was 9 points in total. We're within that now. Can we get closer? I have to wait for the next couple of episodes and see what happens at the end of the season to find out. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed today's video, do not forget to leave a big like on there for me, and do not forget to subscribe as well. It's completely free to do so, and you'll make me a very happy chap. I've been Stu, you guys have been awesome, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.